All right, what's going on, guys? Trey back again here to bring you another video. This one's going to be talking about Johnny Bones Jones versus Dan Henderson, Hendo. This is rumored. We know it's going to be the next matchup for John Jones. We know it's going to be the next one for the belt. And it's rumored to be UFC 149, July 21st in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So, interesting matchup. Pretty much the next, or maybe the last big matchup at 205 for John Jones. At least in my opinion, anyway. I mean, the UFC marketing machine will put out previews after this for, next fight and the fight after and after. But, it's going to be similar to Anderson Silva. We're going to get to a point where John Jones has beaten everybody. And anybody left that he hasn't beaten, he, is probably not even in the top 10. So he's literally walked through every guy in the top 10. And that's when things get stale. And I mean really stale. That's when things get really boring. Because when you think about it, it's like, okay, you've got the champion. He's already beaten every guy in the top 10. Do you really want to see him fight a top 20 guy maybe? Probably not. That's not interesting at all. Or do you want to watch him fight in a rematch against one of the guys he's already beaten handily? Like, would anybody want to see John Jones fight Shogun again? Or, Machida again? Or Rashad again? I mean, these fights to me personally are not very interesting. Or would you like to see him fight somebody like Phil Davis, who he hasn't fought, but Phil Davis has lost to Rashad? Or, just somebody that doesn't deserve a title shot. So, this is the last, real contender, I think, in my opinion, at 205 that John Jones has not already beaten once already. So after this, I don't know what they're going to do with him. They'll probably just have him do rematches against guys. I think what they should do is, personally, when the UFC gets into situations like this, okay, and they have a champion like John Jones, possibly like Junior Dos Santos, we'll see what happens with him later, or like guys like Anderson Silva. I think what they should do is, when they've eliminated basically everybody in the division, there's nobody left who's any good, they should put on a tournament. Now, not all in one night, because that's impossible to do with the athletic commissions, but put on a tournament like Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix and have the winner of that face John Jones afterwards. Now, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, because you could start it, like, for example, if they started the tournament at, like, right now, by the time John Jones beats Dan Henderson, then they could have, a couple guys fight, after that pay-per-view, give John Jones a few months to rest, and then the winner of the tournament will get to fight him again in a rematch to make it feel like he deserves a title shot. Whoever it is who wins. Like, let's say you take the top 8 guys, 205, put them in a tournament, and then the winner, whoever wins it, which might be Rashad or who knows, maybe Machida or maybe Shogun, then have them, whoever wins, that tournament, have a rematch against John Jones. Because otherwise, it's like, if you just give him a rematch, it's like it's like the Tito Ortiz versus Chuck Liddell thing. Twice Chuck beats Tito Ortiz. And then they want to make a fight for a third time when he's already beaten him handily twice? Why are you going to have him fight 3 times? This is the thing the UFC's been doing all along, because they put on so many pay-per-views, and, they just, in terms of their divisions, a lot of times they have, just a couple top guys. Everybody else, and a lot of times we won't get to see, this kind of like tournament hierarchy of who really is the best and this kind of stuff. So we end up seeing guys like Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz fight each other 3 times. Are we going to get to see Rashad Evans fight John Jones 3 times when John Jones beats him handily every time? It's just that kind of stuff to me is not interesting. To me as a fan, it doesn't interest me at all. So this will be the last time we're going to get to see somebody who hasn't been already defeated by John Jones face John Jones. Does Hendo have any chance of beating Jones? Small chance. Small chance. The H-bomb, I think, is the only way it's going to happen. He's got to rock him. He's got a puncher's chance. He's got to rock him with an H-bomb and be able to finish. Because when you break it down, let's look at it. John Jones has got some of the best wrestling in the 205 division, equal to Rashad Evans, if not better, and Phil Davis, if not better, for MMA purposes. His Muay Thai is improving all the time, and it's actually at this point very, very good. What else we got? Elbows that he'll use. Well, that's part of Muay Thai, but he'll use his elbows with his long limbs in unorthodox ways, like throw straight elbows, when the guy gets in close, and do stuff like that. He's sort of like Sagat from Street Fighter, kind of. He'll throw jumping knees and shit like that, you know, tiger knee. And, you know, all these kinds of things. When he gets guys down, he'll throw huge elbows. He's got good submissions, like when he choked out Machida there against the cage. I mean, the guy's just nasty. Everywhere you go with Jon Jones, he's nasty. And I sound like I'm a Jon Jones fan. I'm not. I don't like Jon Jones. I think, you know, I think that guys like Jon Jones just show how awesome guys like Anderson Silva, Fedor Emelianenko, Junior Dos Santos are. That even though they're beating everybody, they're still, you know, they treat their opponents with honor and respect. They're not full of themselves, and they also don't, you know, think of themselves as the best. Jon Jones is really conceited in that way. So, but you got to give the guy credit where credit is due. I mean, he's a monster. He's beaten everybody. He's, you know, Hendo's the last guy. Is Hendo going to be able to do it? I don't think so. In terms of a prediction, I think the betting odds are probably going to be like 6 or 7 to 1. Hendo had one of the best fights of all time against Shogun, and Jon Jones made Shogun look like he was nothing for the most part. I think he's probably going to do the same to Hendo. I mean, aside from the H-bomb, what else could Hendo do? Can Hendo take him down? I don't think so. I don't think so. Can Hendo clinch with him and get him up against the cage? Well, maybe. Maybe Hendo could clinch with him and get him up against there. And but then he's got to watch out for those sharp-ass elbows. So really, Hendo's got to get inside. He's got to get inside Jon Jones's range with his long limbs and avoid those elbows and use some dirty boxing and land that H-bomb if he can. Do I think he'll be able to do it? No, I don't think so. Rampage couldn't land a good shot against Jones. Machida barely landed one. Shogun couldn't land one. You know, the list goes on and on and on. So, you know, in terms of a prediction, I got to go 70% for Jones in this fight, only 30 for Hendo. Does it suck? Yeah, it kind of sucks because I want to see Jon Jones lose, but I don't think at 205 it's going to happen. I don't see anybody at 205 that can beat Jon Jones right now. I really don't. If he moves up to heavyweight, I'd like to see him fight you know, lots of guys up there would be interesting fights. Maybe start him at like give him like a top 10 guy, like who's around number 10. Like give him like Roy Nelson or somebody like that, because I'm sure Jon Jones could probably beat up on one of those guys, and then maybe try to move him in slowly up to the higher echelon of the heavyweight division. Even though the heavyweight division is freaking awesome right now, and you know, if Jon stays at 205, I think he'll win for a long time. It's sort of like one of those types of situations where he's so good nobody else can mess with him or give him a decent match, so it just makes it boring. You know what I mean? Like when you get to see it, like you get to see like a guy that's so you know, far above the other guys in his division that you just know. And also, too, another thing is that Jon Jones doesn't really swing for the fences. Like, even if you knew that Fedor Emelianenko was going to beat up on, you know, some guy at heavyweight, let's say Gary Goodridge or, you know, who else? Any of the top guys that he smashed, Heath Herring or something like that. Well, at the time, we didn't know he was going to do that. But even if you know that Fedor's going to smash these guys, it was still fun to watch him do it because he just hits them so hard, and he just, you know, his throws, his takedowns, his armor, it's like everything was just so fun to watch. I don't get that vibe from Jon Jones. I just don't. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he's so calculated that everything just looks like it's routine for him, and he's not really wild at all, and without being wild, that excitement isn't really there. You know, you get to see everything is so very calculated. He used to be he's unorthodox. It's not the same as being wild, but there's something about watching, you know, guys like Fedor just throw bombs into guys and knock them down, whereas with Jon Jones, it's not really like that. He more picks guys apart. He's very scientific. He uses the you know, his techniques, even though they're kind of wild, they're kind of unpredictable. He just doesn't smash guys in the same way that interests me. In other words, I don't like to watch Jon Jones just beat up on somebody I know he's going to beat. Whereas, for some reason, I like watching Fedor beat up on guys I know he's going to beat. I don't know why that is. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's because I'm a fan of Fedor, and ever since Jon Jones has opened his mouth in interviews, I'm not a fan of him. I used to be when I just, you know, like when we just got to see him come into the UFC, beat up Stephan Bonner when he threw the belly-to-back suplex on him and the spinning back elbow and all this interesting, cool stuff. But I don't know. I guess I'd have to say that as soon as I started watching interviews with Jon Jones, I was like, God damn, I hate this guy. But anyway, as much as I hate him, I got to pick him in this fight. I don't think Hendo has really any chance in this fight. Let me know what you guys think about it. Were you excited to watch this? Are you going to buy it, the pay-per-view, to watch it? Me personally, I don't think I will. I'll probably just get the replay afterwards or something. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. See you for the next one later. Cheers.